Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. You are on day 341. I'm continuing the story of the Banyan Deer. We left the king and the Banyan Deer in conversation with each other. The king was asking the Banyan Deer what he would need to be able to go in peace, to be able to live in peace. And he'd offered to allow his herd to go. And the Banyan Deer had said, this won't please me, because if we go, then the other herd of deer will suffer twice as much. I can't live with that, the Banyan Deer said. So the king had said that he would let both the herds of deer go. And the Banyan Deer had said, I cannot live with that either. For if both our herds go, then the rest of the four-footed creatures that live within the stockade, well, they will suffer even more. So the king said, fine, then, I will not then harm any four-footed creature. They shall all be free. Will that please you? Asked the king. And the Banyan Deer replied that it would not. That would not be enough either. Then what is it that you need? Asked the king. Well, all of the winged creatures, if you will no longer hunt the four-footeds, then the misery to the winged creatures will increase dramatically, and I cannot live with that either. The king could not believe what he was witnessing. Such nobility coming from this deer. And as he continued to have this conversation, there was a heaviness, a darkness that fell away from his heart. It was as if he could understand and see through the perspective, through the eyes of the Banyan Deer. And he could see how the way he had treated all these other living creatures was not in accord with peace or gentleness. And this deer now was teaching him. Fine, he said, the winged creatures shall be free, and we shall no longer hunt them. He said, in fact, the stockade shall be removed, and throughout my lands, no four-footed creature shall be hunted, nor any winged creature. Now, O teacher of mine, can you go peacefully? The Banyan Deer replied, no, I still may not go. Then what do you need? Asked the king. What about the silent ones? He said, what about the ones living within the waters? Can you spare them as well? For they will have no peace if you turn toward hunting them. The king said, it shall not be a problem. The silent ones, all the fishes, all the creatures that live in the water shall be safe. I shall extend this blessing to all the creatures within my kingdom. And so it was. The king agreed. The Banyan Deer was happy. The stockade was torn down. The animals roamed freely over the landscape. But all was not completely well. For the deer, at times, would wander into the farmers' fields where they were growing corn or wheat or rice or whatever vegetables or fruits might be growing that the deer enjoyed. And the deer would wreak havoc on the people's harvest. And they complained to the king. None were to hunt the animals or the birds or to catch the fish. Well, the king heard of the upset. But not only did the king hear of it, but the banyan deer did as well. And when he heard of this, he called all of the deer people together and made a proclamation that because of what the king had blessed them with, that they shall forever after not eat from the farmers' fields or anything cultivated by the farmers, fruit or vegetable, grass or grain, none. The deer agreed. As far as I know, in a place that is not so very far from here. The world is still that way. The people do not hunt. They leave the animals, the birds, the fishes free. And the animals do not bother those growing food on the landscape. And that is the story of the banyan deer. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Have a good rest of your day or night.